time, and there are a lot of stories there.
Tell me.
Yeah, and not a happy time entirely either, right?
Not, no. Especially in the beginning, I was very miserable and feeling out of place. I was always driven, ambitious. I had a grand plan. I wanted to go to university. I wanted to become a journalist, a writer. In fact, I didn't quite understand the difference between the two. But whatever. I had a grand plan, not working at a factory. So I was really so as escape. As I tend to books, and I decided to teach myself English. So it was quite a slow, long journey. But towards the end, when I had to go, I was kind of feeling I was,
The goal kept you going?
Yeah. Yes. Hope is a powerful word.
Hope is a very powerful thing. Or as Emily Dickinson said, hope is a thing with feathers, you know? What I thought was interesting was, after you left the factory and you had moved to England and you sat down to write your memoir. I mean, 10 years is a long time. How did you decide what to include, and also more important, what to exclude of the time there?
Oh, that's a big question. And when I started writing my first draft ran something like 550 pages.
That's a long book. Yeah.
Where you started writing your fragments of your memory just kind of loomed over you in thousands of fragments.
Yeah.
So then I sat down and decided what this book is about. So originally the title is called A Frog in a Well, because I just felt many years my life would just feel like a frog being trapped in the bottom of the well.
Frog in the well.
Yes.
Okay, looking at the sky.
So this is the journey. Yeah. This is journey get out of the well. So focus on that. My personal development. The journey I took to get out of the factory. Pushing the boundary and chasing my dream. That's the story. So
how long did it take you to write the book?
Oh, too long again.
10 years in the Rocket Factory and
4 years writing the book.
Well, at least it was shorter than the Rocket Factory work. That's good. Yeah. The book has been sort of called a memoir of the new China. Talk a little bit about what the new China is like for a writer like yourself. You are part of, I think, a new group of writers who are writing in English about China and about Chinese life and Chinese culture in many forms. So say a little bit about what you think that's going to be like for someone like you, because you still live in China now.
Yes, I still living in Beijing, and the reason is I think Beijing for the moment Beijing is a very exciting place to be. It's so vibrant. It's just so dynamic, and like any society that's going through such a fast change, there's drama, there's tension. All these things are needed for a writer or a journalist. So I'm very happy to be there. And also, as it's mentioned, I'm one of the growing number of people, but still a small number of people.
Small number, but growing. Yeah.
Write in English or French or so. I think it's a very different ball game to writing for domestic market and for international market. And for domestic market, there's always a great deal of amount of presumed knowledge. But writing, I've been working as a journalist and writing English, so I think I know my audience.
Yeah.
So I want to be that cultural little bridge. I was born and grew up in China. I have the insight into the culture, which still remains largely unknown, and yet I feel I can communicate with those on the other side. So that's the role I see myself, the little cultural bridge.
Well, there's certainly a lot of interest in China today, and I think increasingly writers like yourself are going to be that bridge for the rest of the world. How did you get the book published? Can you tell? I think the members of the Writers' Circle will be really interested in knowing about how you put it together, how you got it out there, how you got an agent or publisher for the book.
Oh, again, that's just it's quite a slow process. Halfway through the book, I found an agent, and he felt this. I had a good story to tell, and he liked my writing. He said there's a freshness in my language, so he took me on. He gave me lots of good help. But actually, we had a few setbacks, so he thought he would wait for my next book. But meanwhile, I just kept going. I improved my book. It's become much better. I actually took in between that, I actually got a MA in creative life writing, and I did feel I become a better writer. So I went back and changed and polished and become much better. And then I just almost by chance I met a publisher who just loved my book. He read it on the way back, and he loved it, and made the offer.
And that was it.
Yes,
That's gone off.
Yes, so just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't never give up.
And where do you go from here? You're working on a new book now, right? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, my new book is it's a novel called Lotus. It's a prostitute, name of a prostitute. It's a book about prostitution set in modern day Shenzhen.
Yeah.
For me, it's prostitution is just a vehicle to talk about social changes.
Sure.
You know, as you know,
Yeah.
most of them prostitutes in China are migrant girls from the poor inland area. They come to the city and very easy to fall into that trap. So
Yeah.
it's just a vehicle to talk about social changes. Yeah.
Well, I'll certainly look forward to reading the new book when it's out. So I wish you a lot of luck with that.
Thank you. I think it should be easier to get it published. Already some publishers
Yes.
expressed interest, but I decided I'm not going to write many. I'm a slow writer. I don't churn up, many volumes in a year. So I just want to. I'm not happy with it. I'm still polishing it, changing it. I want to get it as right as possible.